All right, hello everybody. KVUE Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here. Wanted to hop into our stream and give you a quick update. We're kind of balancing a few different things here at KVUE tonight. We've got, it's election day, so we've got election coverage, which will be starting up at 8 o'clock. I'm going to set a reminder actually so that we do not interfere with that. Now, I do have, we can stream from another part of the building later on if need be, but I just wanted to take like 10-15 minutes, give you some live coverage and analysis here on how the rest of the evening could play out here in Central Texas. So with that, let's do, here, we'll hop into the tall box here. Let me get this set up real quick. We'll do cam 4, max 1, and that should look pretty good. Which way do I need to move? This way. Okay, so here's what's going on. This looks bad. We're gonna go just with the graphics full here. Okay, so here's the radar picture right now. We have got no severe warnings in our KVUE area. We do have a lot of heavy rain and lightning though over Burnett County, Llano County, Gillespie County, Blanco County, and increasingly parts of Williamson County. So we'll go one county at a time. Let's start up here in Williamson. Out around the Leander area, this is where we've got a heavy storm which is developed up towards Liberty Hill and Sun City. It has a lot of lightning and heavy rain with it, and it looks like maybe a little bit of small hail too. Here's the hail tracker. In fact, this is actually an increasing hail core that can now be up close to quarter size potentially in some areas, and it looks like this will split the difference here between Liberty Hill and Sun City. So would not surprise me if maybe that one cracks a severe thunderstorm warning here in a moment, and that will be lifting north. So that will go north of Liberty Hill up towards, it's going to be up here like the Florence area and the Andice area. So Andice and Florence, heads up. Now switching back to the regular activity, now let's go out to Burnett County, and man, it is storming in Burnett right now. I've got reports of 38-mile-per-hour wind gust at the Burnett Municipal Airport there in town. Not severe. We'll go back to the hail tracker real quick. Maybe a few pockets of small hail in there, nothing crazy. Mainly this is just good old-fashioned heavy rain and lightning. I want to look at some of the radar estimated rainfall totals here. Anywhere in green on this map is at least 1 inch of rain. And we've got growing coverage of that, and especially here in this zone over the northern hill country. And by the way, I'm getting some reports here from the National Weather Service. There's a storm down in Uvalde, which is just brutal right now. 80-mile-per-hour winds and 2.5-inch diameter hail. I'll take you to that here in a second, even though it's out of our KVUE area. But I really want to watch this here. I'll back out the view. From Mason, Gillespie, Llano, Burnett County, hey, it's good to have some beneficial rain here, but I also think that a flood threat could develop in some of these areas. Just to punch up a few more of these numbers. I mean, we've got some areas that are already up over 2 inches of rainfall. So some locally heavy rain, certainly some minor flooding could already be ongoing. And hopefully we don't get anything too much more than that, but we'll just need to keep an eye on these rainfall totals as we're getting these kind of repeated rounds of rain and storms. And that will take us to Llano County, which right now is in a little bit of a break. But then you can see new heavy rains developed here over northern and northeastern Gillespie County. Then down below that, there's some more rain closer to Kerrville. And this isn't totally training over itself, but it's kind of moving not quite along train tracks, but we're definitely getting some overlap where you get multiple rounds of heavy rain and storms. So I just want to keep an eye on that. Now, heading down here, look at all the lightning with these storms. Man, so this is the storm I was talking about down in Uvalde, and just a heads up, obviously our sister station, KENS in San Antonio, covers this area, but just to show you, since we're looking at the forecast here, these are just big-time storms. I believe they have a destructive tag on this storm. I'm going to read the text of that. They're saying a destructive storm for U.S. Highway 83 south of Uvalde. 80-mile-per-hour winds are going to be possible. 80-mile-per-hour winds. Here's what man, look at that velocity signature there. Just ripping winds. As they said, crossed over U.S. Highway 83 and is now on the south side of Uvalde. And I'm glad this thing is not in the KVUE area right now, but obviously we've got folks who care about down here too, 70 to 85-mile-per-hour winds. Here's another way to visualize that just with the wind tracker. I mean, look at the corridor of wind here. we'll measure this out. You've got a corridor of 40-mile-per-hour winds that's like nearly 25 miles across. And then you've got a corridor of severe winds that's like 15 miles. So this is pretty intense wind here. And then we'll loop this. Again, this is south of our KVUE area, but we'll just need to keep an eye on any of this type of stuff. Now, here's the bigger picture view. And you can see we've got a couple things going on. So we've got the round, which is moving in now into the hill country up here. And this is going to keep moving eastward. And this up here, there are some pockets of hail, but it's mainly like a heavy rain and lightning risk. And then down here, we've got, I apologize, down to the south. Let me clear this out. Then down to the south, we've got this thing, which is mainly a severe threat, which is a wind and a hail threat, just some really intense winds there, and that is kind of coming in the San Antonio area. And then you've also got this area here in the middle, where things are kind of in the process of filling in, and we'll see exactly how that behaves right now. But right now for the KVUE area, we're looking at more so heavy rain and lightning. It may be a localized flood threat, but the real bad severe stuff right now is down south in the San Antonio area. Here's the storm outlook through the rest of this evening and tonight, and this kind of checks with what's happening and where we've seen the stronger storms already. Level 2 for the hill country down to Bexar County and San Antonio, and then level 1 for the Austin area and points east. So that's the severe weather threat, and then I'll show you the flood threat, which is a level 2 out of 4 area wide. And if you missed it earlier, we have a flood watch, which has been issued for all areas along and west of I-35. So this includes Williamson, Travis, and Hays counties, and then all of the hill country. And it goes until 8 a.m., but I'm pretty confident that the vast majority of this rain will be gone prior to 8 a.m. I mean, this really is arriving early. I think by 1 a.m., most of this is probably out of our area. Then as far as the severe watch, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch, which has been issued earlier for Mason, Llano, and Gillespie. Now they've trimmed Mason out of it, and it just continues for Llano and Gillespie. So as of now, based on how the radar has evolved, they're not extending that any farther east into the Austin area. Again, we're going to have some storms, but it's good that they're not severe right now. But we do have really severe stuff to our south, so we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on things and see how this evolves with time. Just to give you a live view outside, this is Zach Theater right now in downtown Austin, 84. We do have the rain-cooled air, which has made it into the hill country. It is 61 right now in Mason. How about that? Let's go into the model data, though, and trace this forward as we go through the rest of tonight. And it looks like it's initialized, fairly well. And it shows that by the time we get, 8, 9, 10 o'clock especially, we've got rain and storms growing in coverage over the I-35 corridor in the Austin area. Then these will move into our eastern areas as we get into midnight. And again, the exact evolution, a little bit tricky, but there certainly could be corridors that develop of more intense wind and some hail to go along with the heavy rain risk that we're dealing with. Then all this should clear out. Well, I say that. This new run of our model brings through a little bit of a residual batch that we get more so grazed by early tomorrow morning, and then that would move out. So that particular model run, here's how much rain it is printing out. Anywhere of I think a pretty widespread 1/4 to 1 inch of rain, and then embedded pockets of anywhere from 1 to as much as 4 inches of rain are going to be a possibility, and that's where that flood threat comes into play. So that is kind of the lowdown. And by the way, once we get through tonight, I think the storm chances for the remainder of the week are much, much lower. Okay, new severe thunderstorm warning now for Williamson County with this cell, and this is the one I was talking about with the hail core here, and that is heading up towards the Andice area. Let me get you the latest on this warning, and then we'll go to the hail tracker. So a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is mainly for Williamson County, but it does get a little sliver there at Burnett County, and this goes until 8:15. I'll click into the warning, and here's what they're saying on it. Severe thunderstorm located near the Andice area, 7 miles west of Serenata, moving north at 25. 60-mile-per-hour winds are going to be possible, and $50 size hail is going to be possible. With that, here's a look at the hail tracker. Man, that has come up some. So we've got pretty sizable hail. And remember, as we look at this, the exact location is not always pinpointed exactly. This can lag behind a little bit, but it does give us a good indication of the hail size. And right now we've got this over Ronald Reagan Boulevard and Ranch Road 2338. We'll cue up some of these numbers, and this is looking like hen egg size hail. So again, hen egg to golf ball, they've got $50 in the text of the warning. And then I also want to keep an eye on the velocities here and the wind. Is that that might be the beginning of a microburst signature right here. Yeah, it would not surprise me if a very small microburst develops here right underneath where the heavy rain and hail core is developing. So ahead up here at Andice, what's going to happen is this wind is going to, apologize, here's the what I'm looking for. This wind is going to spread out from this area, and this is where we're going to have potential for 60 plus mile per hour winds. We'll wait for the next scan, but it would not surprise me at all. We might have got it right on the money there one scan early. This could be a microburst developing where you get small scale but pretty intense winds. Let's zoom in a little bit closer on that and call out some streets. So again, Ranch Road 2336, Ronald Reagan Boulevard, the Oak Grove Church area. And this is just on the east side of 183, and this is going to head up towards the Andice area. So just a heads up here, hail core and a wind threat. And I'm waiting here for the next velocity scan to come in. Was that it? Okay, looks like it didn't. I was trying to peg it there, scan early to see if a microburst might develop, and we'll keep an eye on that. But for now, not seeing anything too alarming right now on the radar. The hail tracker, though, is certainly still showing potential for hail up to a $50 size. So that is now the lone severe warning that we have. Otherwise, we've got heavy rain and lightning over the hill country. Earlier, I showed you those radar estimated totals. Here are the El Sur hydromet numbers. And look at these numbers here, especially in Burnett County. Here, I'll zoom. Third time's the charm. We'll zoom in here over Burnett County, where these are rain gauges that are closing in on 2 inches of rain, and heavy rain is still falling. And remember, back several days ago, the Marble Falls, Horseshoe Bay area had some pretty significant flooding there, so the ground is already pretty saturated here in many of these areas. So just be really mindful at the low water crossings, creeks, streams, all that sort of stuff, and then we'll keep an eye on the river flow and see if that will become something we need to watch more closely as we get later on into tonight. And then another aspect of these storms producing tons of lightning here. This is the counter over the last 15 minutes, and we've got over 1,000 lightning strikes being detected here. And then while we're on the bigger view, I'll just show you the hail tracker to see if we have any other smaller hail cores, and maybe sporadically a little bit of small hail over parts of the hill country. But for the most part, we're just looking at that severe hail core, which is up in the Andice area. Okay, so what is going on right now with our sky cams? This is a live view from our Zach Theater camera. There's downtown Austin. We've got some water, unfortunately, in this camera, but you can see off in the distance that lowering, a little shelf cloud there. There's a live view from K-View. What we can do is actually wheel that one around to the north. And we'll start looking up into those storms. There we go, east, 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 and now we're starting to look north, and then we'll go back northwest. So there we are, looking into darker skies up in Williamson County. So we will keep a close eye on that. So that's at K-View. Here's downtown Austin. This is the Oasis cam at Lake Travis. That's going to give us another good view of this lowering. We'll pan this over to the right. Look at that, man. There's a little shelf cloud there north of Lake Travis. But no rain there yet in northwestern Travis County. So again, we're looking across Lake Travis towards, so from this view, we're probably looking at the leading edge of storms, which is like more so in Burnett County. But that lowering is just incredible to see right there. Again, we call that Call that a shelf cloud. And by the way, as we look live at Lake Travis has risen more than 3 feet over the past 7 days. And based on where we're getting some rain right now, might continue to have a little bit more flow coming into Lake Travis. So that is the Oasis cam. What we probably need to do, let's just go ahead and head up to Kalahari. So this is our Kalahari cam in Round Rock, and still, even in Round Rock, things are quiet right now. It is more so, excuse me, time to wake up, everybody. No, just making sure I'm going to be out of here by the time they start the election coverage. But yeah, so it is more so out towards the Andice, Florence area where we've got the strong storms right now. And with that, we'll get back to the radar, and we will check in on our severe thunderstorm warning. For anybody that's just now joining us, this was issued about 5 minutes ago, a new severe thunderstorm warning, and it's the only severe thunderstorm warning we have, but this is for far northwestern Williamson County. This goes until 8:15. Main threat here is going to be hail, although I want to keep an eye on the wind and the Doppler winds and the velocity here, make sure nothing's trying to rotate. Looks like we're okay. And then here's our shear tracker, picking up on maybe a little bit of light shear, but no imminent issues with tornadoes. And by the way, as I pause, I'm looking at some of the reports from the National Weather Service. They are issuing tornado warnings down south of our KVUE area, and I'll take you back to that here in a second. Then here's the latest on the hail tracker. Still, this could be $half size hail or larger, and this is coming right into the Andice area right now. So unfortunately, this is the type of hail that can ding up cars a little bit here. So I would protect your vehicles out ahead of this. And next up, this could be heading up in the general vicinity of Florence. So we've got hen egg to $half size hail here. So a little bit more than just the run of the mill here. And there's, again, a look at our severe thunderstorm warning. A new tornado warning was just issued down to our south, so let's check in with the big picture one more time. I'll switch over to the SAT-RAD here. And we'll head down south to take a look at that. So it looks like they've issued the tornado warning for this cell down near Pleasanton. Now that we've located it, we'll go to high res, and yeah, look at that thing. So that's a tornado warning for the Pleasanton area until 8:30. Here's what the velocities are looking like there. Yeah, you can see where a scan ago that pulsed up a little bit. Let's see what the shear tracker is showing. Yeah, so just a heads up there down south of Bexar County. And then still we've been watching these really strong winds here in the Uvalde area, and that still looks just really rough here. These brighter colors, we'll sample some of those numbers. In the text of the warning, they're saying destructive winds that could be as high as 80 miles per hour. And we can isolate them with the wind tracking product, and that is, yeah, that is rough stuff there coming into. That is going to be coming into like the Hondo area next up. And with regards to the tornado warning, by the way, they are saying spotters are down on this storm, and they are seeing at least a rotating wall cloud, which has increased their confidence in the tornado warning down here in the Pleasanton area. But again, that is not right now in our KVUE area, but just wanted to keep you up to speed on that. This looks like maybe a new hail core coming together down near the Comfort, Kerrville area. So keep an eye on that, because if that develops, that could drift north into parts of Gillespie or Blanco counties down the line. For us right now, though, we're mainly watching the Andice area here, heading up toward Florence. Okay, just got a report from Williamson County emergency managers. Let me tap into this real quick. This is from Emergency Management Response in Williamson County. Reports of a fifth-wheel RV pushed on its side from wind. Reagan Ridge RV Park, Ronald Reagan, and County Road 289. So it does look like we've got not just hail, but also some wind here with this strong storm over Williamson County. And I wonder there, when I was trying to peg that microburst detection, I wonder if we've had some microburst winds here. Just looking at it simply on the radar, nothing. Yeah, so right here we had a little bit of a small area. So they were, and this is right where, wow. So that, I mean, that's right where it was. So reports of a fifth wheel RV pushed on its side, Reagan Ridge RV, Ronald Reagan and County Road 289. Where'd 289 go here? We're just looking at it. Yeah, but so that's where the Doppler radar was picking up on these stronger winds. I mean, that only says 30 to 40. We're a little ways away from the radar. Obviously, if we've got RVs being knocked down, I'd imagine we're probably more in the range of 40 to 60 mile per hour winds. So hopefully everybody's all right there. But just to give you a heads up here in Williamson County, a wind and a hail threat. Okay, so that is what's going on. I'm going to sign off of here for a moment. We're going to leave the stream up, and you can see the big picture, how this is all coming together, where we've got heavy rain, growing coverage over the hill country. The bigger severe stuff right now is to our south, but just have to keep an eye on that because this certainly later on this evening could be working into, places like the I-10 corridor, maybe even southern sections of Travis and Hayes County. So we'll keep an eye on how that evolves. This stuff up here is a little bit more tame, but it's still producing heavy rain and lightning, and we'll just have to see how this evolves as we go through the rest of this evening. I'm going to get you back to the radar loop because one more quick update. A flash flood warning is about to be issued for Burnett and Llano County. So I'll wait one more moment while we wait on that. But again, here in less than 15 minutes, we're going to start doing political coverage here. It is election day, obviously here in Central Texas. So the news team's going to be moving in soon. But again, guys, it looks like we have a flash flood warning, which is going to be coming out for parts of Burnett and Llano counties here soon. And the reason for that is we wait on it. I'll show you the radar estimated totals, and we've just got quite a bit of rain here. I mean, we already have pockets of 2 to 3 inches of rain that has already fallen. And then as we go back to the current radar, obviously still heavy rain is falling at the moment. So we're going to have a flash flood warning, which is going to be issued for this area here momentarily. Let me get the graphics queued up so that will auto-populate when that is issued. So we will stand by for that just to show you the warning. And then again, I'll get you back to just the radar loop. And then I'll regroup. I'll move into another part of the TV station and we will continue with our coverage here on KVUE Plus as we're tracking this flood threat and severe threat. Also just got a mesoscale discussion being issued by the Storm Prediction Center. And they're talking about the MCS, so the Boeing complex of storms down to our south, which is closer to San Antonio. They're saying that this MCS will transition eastward across portions of south central Texas this evening with potential for severe to significant wind gusts and perhaps an embedded tornado or two. Additional development may also occur later tonight along the southern flank of this system and or upstream of South Texas. A new severe thunderstorm watch will likely be needed in the next hour or two to cover these threats. Let me see the area that they're talking about because again, this very well could end up clipping southern sections of our KVUE area. We'll wait to see what the map looks like there. But there you go. As you can see, the flash flood warning was just issued, and it looks like they went with kind of a broad brush flash flood warning, which includes basically all of Llano and Burnett counties where we've had heavy rainfall already taking place. So flooding ongoing or could begin soon. So with that, guys, I'm going to get you back to just the radar loop for a moment. I'm going to relocate, and then we will continue our coverage right here on KVUE Plus. All right. Hello, everybody. I apologize for the quick hiatus. As I mentioned earlier, we have political coverage going on. It's election day going on in the studio, so we just moved into the backup office here. Had to get all the streaming equipment and everything figured out. So you guys let me know if you have any issues, but I think we should be good to go here. Where I left you earlier was we had a new flash flood warning that was issued here for Llano and Burnett counties. This is where we've had quite a bit of rainfall here over the past several hours. I'll just show you the radar estimated numbers here, and these continue to just get higher and higher, especially here over central Burnett County. I'll punch up some of these numbers for you just to see. And again, earlier we were looking at 2 to 3. Now we've got these pockets of 2 to 4 inches of rain that have fallen here. So flash flooding conditions certainly could be ongoing there. And again, we still have some rain falling in these zones. With that, I want to also kind of shift back east into Williamson County, where we do have this severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like they are in the process of trimming that as this is moving north, but this has had a history of producing some hail at times up to a $50 size. And it looks like they're saying currently 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail with this cell, but it definitely, you can see the reflectivity spike there where it is certainly producing some hail. Let me get you over to the hail tracker. And this is where the hail is located, kind of over the 195 corridor right now. Here's a closer look at it. Again, they're saying mainly quarter-size hail. And if you missed it earlier, we did have a couple of reports from the Williamson County area. I'll back this out as we talk about some of these reports here. But we had reports of an RV blown over, and that was more in the Andice area. So here is the sequence of reports that we had sent in. Reports of a 5-wheel RV pushed on its side from wind, Reagan Ridge RV, Ronald Reagan at County Road 289. Then we also had some small hail reports, East Ronald Reagan at Williams Drive in the Georgetown area. So those are the reports that we had sent in from Williamson County. Oh, here's one more. 3 inches of rain per hour rate with a confirmed 1 inch in the past 30 minutes. This is northwest of Williams Drive and Jim Hogg Road at in the Georgetown area. So some heavy rain to go along with some wind and hail in a few of these storms. Hey, it looks like we got a few new updates coming out here. Let's do this. I'm going to back out the view as we switch to the RadSat, just because this has the watches included on it. And it looks like we did just get a new severe thunderstorm watch that was issued, so we'll see if this populates in here. Let me head on over to Twitter here, and I'll see what the watch looks like. So it looks like they issued a new severe thunderstorm watch, but it actually does not include any of our KVUE counties. It goes right up to the I-10 corridor, so it ends south of San Marcos, south of Luling, and south of Fayette County. And the reason for that, that's where the main severe threat is going to be with this big mean line of storms. Not that we couldn't have any severe weather, you know, we'll see how this unfolds as this is all kind of gradually shifting eastward with time, but for now, the bigger severe threat is going to be kind of like this. And even here, I do want to keep an eye on the I-10 corridor. If this goes just a smidge north, then it could start to impact some of those areas. But for now, it's going to be that area that has the severe thunderstorm watch. Just a reminder for anybody who's just kind of checking in with the forecast, we do have a flood watch, which has been issued for all areas along and west of I-35 through 8 a.m., although the vast majority of this rain is going to be gone before then. Then let's see if this graphic has populated the new severe thunderstorm watch. Yeah, so this one, we have our existing severe thunderstorm watch for Llano and Gillespie counties for large hail, gusty wind threat. Earlier we had a tornado threat, although I think for us the tornado threat, not super concerned about it right now. And then you can see the new part of this warning is going to be the southern extent. Down here, this is the new part, the watch. This is the new part of the severe thunderstorm watch that they issued, but it did not go into any parts of our KVUE area. Let me show you a live view of what's going on out there. So here's our Kalahari cam in Round Rock. And as storms ultimately get closer to the metro, we'll be able to give you live views from all of our sky cams. Of course, we've got a number across the Austin metro. But for right now, this is what the radar looks like. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning here. This is going to be just south of Gillespie County. We'll see how this one tracks because, again, this could work into southeastern Gillespie County and then especially Blanco County. It could work into some of these areas. So here's the latest on this warning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning for Kendall and Kerr County until 9 p.m. Looks like just a run-of-the-mill severe thunderstorm warning there with potential for hail up to quarter size and winds that could be up to about 60 miles per hour. We'll see what the hail tracker shows here. Couple different areas with hail, again, that all look to be generally quarter size or less right now. Let's see, just got a special weather statement that was issued. Let me zoom out and we'll take a look at that. The special weather statement, sometimes I'll call these like a strong storm advisory. Remember, this is just like the step down below a severe thunderstorm warning. So here's a look at that. And this is just, look at, it's like the biggest significant weather statement I've ever seen here, where they just went with a broad brush strong storm advisory here. And this will likely be for winds that could be 40 to 50 miles per hour. I'm going to go over to the data feed here and take a look at that for you. So they're saying Doppler radar is tracking strong thunderstorms along a line extending from near Liberty Hill down to Bandera. Movement was east at 25, and we'll do a storm track here in a moment. Wind gust of 50 to 55 miles per hour will be possible to go along with pockets of penny-sized hail. So wind of 50 to 55, remember to technically be a severe thunderstorm warning. There is criteria, and the wind criteria is 58 miles per hour or greater, which we don't have right now, but they could be just a smidge below that, 50 to 55 miles per hour. And these are going at 25, they say. So let's do this. Let's do a storm track here. And this will give us just the approximate arrival times here, and we'll do the squall feature like this. We'll back this up, slow down the speed a little bit. So here's a look at the possible arrival times here. Hamilton Pool, you're starting to get grazed by it now. Schwertner, 8:27, 8:29 in Georgetown. The Hills, 8:35. Dripping Springs at 8:43. Round Rock, 8:47. Driftwood, 8:58. The Domain at 9:02. Taylor, 9:10, and 9:16 possible arrival for Austin. And it does look like these are starting to get a little scoot to the east. And that was kind of the thing I was watching earlier, where it's like, okay, are these things going to start moving east? And they have. So this is kind of going according to plan, which will bring these storms into the Austin metro here within the next 1 to 2 hours, I would say, if not earlier for some areas. And then here's the latest note from the National Weather Service. They said, special weather statement coming for the entire line approaching the I-35 corridor from the Austin metro southward to San Antonio. 50-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail possible. Some cells inside this line may intensify, and separate warnings may need to be issued. So we certainly could have some wind or hail kick up from time to time within this line. So I'm not saying we're out of the woods with severe thunderstorm warnings. Okay, so we'll clear that off. Let's do a wind and a hail inspection. So here is the hail tracker, and it looks like this hail size here in Williamson County has really come down. Did they drop this? No, so they still have the severe thunderstorm warning with it here. This produced some like half-dollar size type hail in the Andice area. Now it's heading up towards Florence. It's like between there and Jarrell. And this to me looks like at the moment it's probably less than quarter size hail. Now let's see what the winds are doing here. We do, again, this is the storm that produced the report of a RV being blown over. And here pretty close to the radar, we're getting some, you know, in some areas 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gust here. The severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for Kirk County, south of Gillespie County, that's going to be allowed to expire, by the way. Okay, so we've got rain now coming into Liberty Hill and Leander. But just that, some heavy rain and some lightning here. I'll turn on the lightning with this just so you can see it. So Liberty Hill, northwest Travis County, soon to be Leander. Your storms are moving in. Then we've got the stuff here, Blanco County to Gillespie County. That later on down the line, and then including the stuff that's south of here too, this is going to be the stuff that is tracking eventually into Hays County and Travis County. So it's not like totally training over itself, but you can see there's definitely a northeastern component of motion here. And by the way, I'm going to get the stream pulled up here on my end so I can see. See, we've got a couple hundred people watching. We appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm going to get that pulled up here just so I can keep tabs on that. We do not have any of the comments enabled right now, but if you have a question, the easiest way, or a report, the easiest way to get it to me is honestly on Twitter or on X. Hunt_WX is my name there. I'm going through these notifications right now. So far, just getting some cloud photos and videos sent in, but nothing too crazy. Again, all this so far has been confined to the hill country for the most part. But look at these rainfall totals here. I don't want to lose sight of this as we're keeping an eye on the leading edge coming eastward. The heavy rain that has fallen here over much of the hill country, especially here in Burnett and Llano counties, and this is where we've got the flash flood warning that has been issued. So I'd imagine we're going to get some low water crossings, creek streams that are going to be swollen here, and then we'll keep an eye on some of the we'll keep an eye on the Highland Lake chain here. Lake Travis, we've been talking about it, has actually done pretty well over the past 7 days. I know some parts of the metro have been some of the drier areas, but we had some good inflow from Sandy Creek last week and from the Llano River, so it's risen like more than 3 feet in the past week, and this type of rain might be bringing some more rise. But just to show you the numbers here, we certainly have some pockets of 2 to 4 inches of rain. And this is where the flash flood warning was issued. This goes until 11 p.m., by the way, the flash flood warning. Llano County, you're doing okay right now. Looks like the heaviest of the rain is moving east of you now, but still we have some pretty heavy stuff falling in Burnett County. Okay, so let's go back to the bigger picture. Earlier, we were also watching these storms south of here in, I apologize for the zoom in and out. I'm logged in remotely since they're doing the political show, so I'm on a laptop right now. So this zoom in versus zoom out on the trackpad is a little confusing for me. But you can see the severe thunderstorm warning for this meaner segment of storms, which is heading into the San Antonio area, and they have a considerable tag with this. So earlier, these were even destructive. They were producing winds up to 80 miles per hour. It looks like those super high-end winds have come down, and that's what I'm seeing here on radar too. But still, this is going to be some strong winds, no doubt about it, which will be coming into the San Antonio area. See how the hail's doing in here. A few little hail cores here, but and those ones are stronger than what is moving into our area. So we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings. We just have the strong storm advisory. And that's it in the tan box here for winds that could be up as high as 50 to 55 miles per hour. Here's where the winds are at right now. Nothing crazy at any of the official reporting sites. Burnett currently gusting to 22, but I know earlier they did have a gust of 39 miles per hour earlier when the leading edge of the storms were moving in. And then this is kind of amazing how much cooler it is back behind these things. It is 61 in Mason right now. Compare that to 82 in Austin. But we've got all the warmth and humidity. Here's a look at the dew point map. Dew points upper 60s, low 70s. That'll get the job done, no problem. And then just to show you the instability that is still out there out ahead of these storms, the storm energy. Obviously, as the storms come in, they eat into that energy, but there is certainly fuel for these storms to be prolific rain producers and at times to produce some wind and some hail. A new flash flood warning is about to be issued for parts of Kerr and Kendall counties down to our south. So you're going to see that pop onto the screen here south of the Fredericksburg area. Then I'm getting some reports here on Twitter from Austin Storm Chaser of what looks to be some sort of flood response and flood-covered roads